Hey guys, what's up? This is Ivo Emma McLean for Life once again, and I'm back for more Friday the 13th series of the reviews. And today I'm going to review, discuss, and me defending an underrated sequel. That's of course Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, which came out and was released 1988. And of course, that's right there, the poster. And this is released on May 1, the 1988, and is actually Carrie vs. Jason, or more Tina vs. Jason, or Carrie was the Terminator. And this is actually my favorite Friday the 13th Jason film. It's criminally underrated, and I love this movie dearly to death. And I'm just gonna start at it, what I love about the film. And first off, I had to turn around. I love this poster. On Friday, May 13th, Jason is back, but this time someone's waiting. I love the tagline. I love this knife, Jason's mask with shining, and there's Tina with her glowing eyes, and there's the pool of blood with the title Friday 13%, The New Blood, and I love the knife. This is my favorite poster of the series, and that's one of the reasons why it's my favorite film, because Jason in this movie is actually a real monster. I love how John Carl Buechler, he directed, how I love his vision. He actually directed the film, and he also showed Jason unmasked, and I love he was actually he actually did the special effects for Jason. So yeah, that's actually my favorite poster. And also Jason, this movie, I know people doesn't like him because they don't like him because he's more zombie Jason. To me, he's a real monster. Kane Hodder, in my opinion, is the best Jason ever because he's a real monster. Now, I do have this movie on Blu-ray. I have the double feature with Part 8. This is actually from the deluxe edition. I don't know who this on this knife is, this girl. I don't know. If anyone knows, please let me know. I don't know from which movie is this girl. Also, I don't like this poster at all. I prefer this poster, the original one. I know there's the Shout Factory released now all I think all 12 movies they actually released with the original poster in it. That's kind of way too expensive for me to buy. So actually, I already paid for this box set, of all 8 movies. I paid for over $100 that time. So already that was expensive. But like I said, I don't like really this poster from the deluxe edition. But I do prefer in the back, and this is actually my favorite Jason. And Kane Hodder, he perfectly played Jason because he was a real monster. And I know John Carl Buechler, he actually had a clash with associate producer Barbara Sachs. She was against the idea that Jason should be without a mask, but he filmed behind her back anyway. And I prefer that we see like a real monster. I mean, I love John Carpenter's The Thing. Watch my review. I reviewed the film. I love John Carpenter's The Thing, and I love this movie because it is actually more a horror movie. It's more scary, and I love Jason being such a monster. And yeah, like I said, Carrie was Jason. And I love Tina. She's my final girl. She's my favorite final girl. I love Tina Shepard to death. Lara Parlico is one of my favorite actors of all time. And yeah, and I love this movie to death. It's my favorite horror movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, But like I said, this movie gets shit on it, gets piss on it. MPA, they actually butchered a lot of gore. They butchered. John Carl Buechler said in Memory of Crystal Lake, the documentary, John Carl Buechler said MPA raped his movie. If you watch his filmography, this is actually the best one he directed. But a lot of gore and it was cut. This is the only movie that was butchered and cut. It took 9 cuts out of the film. And if this will be more gory, I definitely sure that people will say number 1. But no. This movie is well received. This movie is shit. It's criminally underrated. John Carl Buechler passed away. He's no longer with us, sadly, anymore. he can't defend himself. He's no longer a military anymore, so I'm gonna defend this. So this movie is fucking overrated. People were saying, I read it, the comments, people said, no, it's not overrated. This is the best one, the best movie, the best Jason, the rest are copycats, the rest are actually the same, blah, blah, blah. I don't hear you, what anyone who says that. This movie is overrated. It's a good thing, but no, I still think that Part 7 is better. You know, even the cast a lot better than Part 7. You know, and I did rewatch Part 6 again, you know, so that I'm not gonna say any bad stuff. I still hate and dislike Jennifer Cook as Megan Garris. I hate her to death. I wish she would be dead. I wish that someone would just smash her head so much. I hate her so much in the film. And Tom Matthews, to me, is the worst Tommy. He's actually overrated, you know. He's fucking overrated. He's in the fucking game. Tina is not in the game. You know, 2017, Friday the 13th, the game was released. But no Tina. Tina Shepard was not in it. She's the best final girl. She's my favorite final girl. With Ginny right there. You know, and Tom Matthews is fucking overrated because he was in Never Hike Alone. In that movie, he didn't do jack shit. Yeah, he escaped from Jason. He didn't do jack shit. In this movie, because of him, you know, people were dead. But yet he goes, you know, I love the boat. Okay, the open scene, I do enjoy. I love the open scene when they actually resurrected Jason with two light bolts, you know, in that post fence, you know, in that steel post fence. I did enjoy the resurrection of Jason. And the final scene, by the way, CJ Graham was great Jason. He wanted to return, but when John Carl Buechler was hired by Paramount Pictures and Nick Macunza Jr., you know, the producer, John Carl Buechler actually liked and preferred Ken Hodder because he was special effect. He worked on special effects at the time on the film Prison, I think was directed by Rennie Harlin. And he liked Ken Hodder. So Ken Hodder, he did all the stunts himself. You know, when Tina goes and she sets fire on him, you know, actually he was the only actor that was last on the fire 40 seconds. He even got burn scars on his neck, his back, you know. He actually was set on fire. Or when the rooftop falls on him, it really did fall on Ken Hodder, and he said it really hurt him. It was really hard to fall on him. The fire, he was like 40 seconds. I mean, CJ Graham did not do that. No, he was not set on fire. They blew up the house. Yeah, they actually blew up the house. People ignore that because they're fucking stupid. I can't believe how these fans are going and rank this movie. Part 7 is it's my favorite 7, but my number 1 is this one. I can't believe that these people are calling themselves Friday the 13th fans. I mean, these people are fucking stupid. Yeah, I call them stupid because they are. You know, Part 6 is a good movie, but it's not the best one. And actually, it's not even my number 1 favorite. It's not even in top 50 favorite horror films. It's not there. You know, even the poster, you know, I kind of like this poster a little more. But this is kind of shit because, you know, the poster, they did not, the Paramount Pictures, they did a terrible advertising because they did not roll who the fuck plays. You know, from Friday 13 till Part 4, we have the cast writing on it, but Part 5, 6, and 7, you know, and probably at number 8, they don't have writing who the fuck plays in it. That's kind of shit in my opinion. Now, the explosion of the house, you know, wasn't meant to be this big. It was originally rigged to go off in stages, but something went wrong. The massive explosion destroyed everything. Most of the film was burnt. They could only recover 20 frames. So yeah, they did not thought it's gonna be that big. You know, it's supposed to be only it's supposed to only go, you know, in stages. But no, in seconds the whole house was erased. It was real explosion. And when you see Larpa Lincoln and Kevin Blair running, that was for real. They actually really did run for their lives, because in seconds it exploded, it exploded the house. It was ignition, really, and Kane Hodder did all the stunts himself. He didn't have a stuntman. CJ Graham had a stuntman, the open scene, that wasn't him, that was someone else. In this movie, Kane Hodder did everything himself. And people say, oh, Kane Hodder is overrated. Oh, really? Why the fuck is then this movie ranked number 7 by you? If he's overrated, dumb fuck, moron, bitch. You guys are fucking morons, all of you who put this movie on the last of your spot. Oh, Kane Hodder is overrated, yet you shit on this movie. You put this movie number 7 or number 8. You guys are morons, that's how you say. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I am pissed off, because every time I see these popular videos on YouTube and they go, and they rank this film, and this is always number 1, always. And it's like, I want to smash this film to pieces because it's annoying me. So the final scene, in my opinion, part 6, I'm talking about part 6, I thought that the boss scene was actually ballsy, like I said, the open scene when they actually resurrected Jason, with the post fence and with the metal in which he was stabbed, and 2 lightning bolts hit in and destroyed Jason's grave. I thought that was ballsy. I enjoyed the scene. I enjoyed the creepy atmosphere for Jason, played by CJ Graham later. Not the opening, because the opening was someone else. But the rest of the cast, except that guy Tom Friendly, he wasn't even in that documentary in it. I'm surprised he refused to get in it. Yeah, he actually, no one the cast I liked. And Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis, in my opinion, he's the most overrated actor of all time, because he wasn't 3 times, he was twice as Tommy. He was in Never Hike Alone, that fan-made film, and he sucked there, and he sucked in part 6 either. Because of him, people died, because he resurrected Jason. I stated that in my review. I'm gonna continue, and I'm gonna support my decision. Yeah, and by the finale, I did like the boss scene when Tommy goes, I thought that was ballsy. And when Jason goes and starts fighting with him, he used the boulder around his neck, and the bolt destroys. And Jason grabs Tommy and he kills him. I like that scene. What I fucking hate, and I can't stand, because I rewatched the film, I can't stand Megan Jerry's. Oh, Jerry's. Yeah, Jennifer Cook. I hate the bitch. I hate her. I would smash her with some. I will go and smash her with some rock, because she was so fucking annoying. She was so fucking shitty. I hate her so much. She goes and saves Tommy. Why the fuck she has to go save Tommy? She has to be the hero. She has to go and cut with the motor propeller Jason. Oh, so now she's a heroine, but Tommy didn't do jack shit. Yeah, he captured him, but yet the damn fuck, he gets saved by the girl. I thought that stinks. I thought it just like Tom Matthews said in the prison. He says it stinks because it does stinks. And also then I found out, the actor who played Roy, he also said they did not film that scene because of MPA, They had to cut, so no one knows what Jason did to Roy. Because of MPA, they had to cut the scenes. And even he was actually kind of disappointed when I watched last night the documentary, But Jennifer Cook sucked. She's one of the worst final girls of all time. The worst one. The only reason she defeated Jason was because she actually, because he was chained with that pen locker and that boulder around his neck. The only reason why she actually could save Tommy. Otherwise, she would be fucking dead, and I wish she would be. I still don't get, and people are still cheering for that film. They're still praising. I read the fucking shitty comments, on the finale on YouTube. Oh, so someone said, oh, he was a badass. He was a hero. He survived, Jason. Yeah, he survived because the girl saved him. Why the fuck she saved him? I thought that was stinks. I thought he was a pussy. And yet he called Jason a pussy. He was a pussy because he couldn't save himself. I have a question. for all those people who are supposed to more better than me, more intelligent than me. I have a question, and that's it. In Demolition Man, right there, this poster, this poster. I have a question. Did actually John Sparta, played by Sly, did he actually, need help by the Nina Huxley that she has to save him against Simon Phoenix, played by Wesley Snipes? No, she didn't. He defeated the menace, the terrorist himself, a real menace, the most dangerous criminal. He defeated himself. In Broken Arrow, Christian Slater did not need Samantha Matthews to deal with the terrorists. He defeated all of them, including Dickens, played by John Travolta. So why the fuck had Tommy needed to be saved, and why the fuck he needed help? I'm sorry, but that was weak. That was, the ending was shit and was weak. They fucked up the ending. And Kevin Williamson said, oh, so yeah, part 6 was inspired. Fuck you, Kevin Williamson. You fucking suck. You could not came back for Scream 5. They ruined your franchise. Yet you go and say, oh, part 6 is better. Fuck you then. I thought the ending sucked. I thought the ending was weak, for part 6. In my opinion, I hate Jennifer Cook. She's a bitch. She's a slut. I hate her. She goes with her fucking boots. She puts her boots on the fucking desk. Make fun of her dad instead. She will support him. She's supposed to say, Dad, be careful. Now, she didn't even say that. When it's too late, she was bitch crying and screaming and whining, Dad, Dad. I hate that bitch. I hate her so much. She's the worst actress of all time. Fuck her. No wonder she never was on screen time. Fuck her. And in my opinion, Susan Jennifer Sullivan was miles better actress than Jennifer Cook. She was miles better actress. I love Melissa. I love Melissa to death. I love her. Melissa Power, I love her. She was actually the bad girl. And, Susan Jennifer Sullivan, she's really missed. I mean, she disappeared. From 2012, no one knows where she is. And yeah, there is actually a website on Facebook, but I don't know who that person is, because there's no actually photos from the actress. She disappeared. I heard that she had a cancer. She survived the cancer. I also heard, people say she's on social media. Now the team, they try to track her down. They track wrong person with the same name, and they thought she passed away because Corey Feldman says by narration, that she actually, that she's actually the late actress, and they actually was wrong, but no one can find her. And I thought Susan Jennifer Sullivan, I like her a lot more than Jennifer Cook. And also by Tommy Jarvis, Corey Feldman is the best Tommy Jarvis, not Tom Matthews. Tom Matthews is overrated. This movie is overrated. It's overrated. I'm gonna continue saying it's fucking overrated. So yeah, this is criminal underrated. I don't know why the fuck is this movie better, or because it has a few gore scenes, but it doesn't have an explosion, because they actually blew the real house. Yeah, they actually blew the real house. Now the movie was cut. There are a lot of great scenes that was cut by the film. And also this film was actually filmed in Barnes Lake, Alabama. Sadly, there's nothing there anymore, only the pier. They blew up a real house. The other house they actually moved. So yeah, so actually that, they actually blow up. And also, I don't know why is this movie better. It has no nudity, no sex. That bitch Darcy, or that garbage, that slut, she could not even took her everything down. No nudity in this goddamn movie. This movie has balls, because it has an actress that she shows her boobs. The actress who played Robin. I forgot the actress name, but I wrote her down. Elizabeth Caton. She played Robin. We can see her tits, so yeah. And also the actress who played Sandra in the movie. She played Sandra in the movie. She played Sandra. I can't find the actress she played. I think it was Heidi Kozak. I did, because I actually did wrote down, the stuff, but the actors who played Sandra, there were three stunt women, because I don't think she was topless, but they hired three stunt women. The other one, I think, was in the water. The other one played a corpse. I did wrote down everything I can find, for that actress. Two stunt women, not three, two stunt women were for Heidi Kozak. She played Sandra. When we can see, because most of the deaths or scenes were actually filmed that night. But when you actually see those houses, and yeah, the reason why I love this film, I forgot to mention once again, is because it reminds me of the Evil Dead. It reminds me, Kane Hodder is the best Jason ever. I love, I actually do love him, Jason. He's a real monster. And yeah, like I said, the MPA got hands of this film and they actually butchered it, And John Carl Buechler, rest in peace, he said that they raped his film. 9 times they had to do cut in order to avoid X rating, to get an R rating. So they had to do 9 gory cuts. There was a lot of gory cuts, And yeah, and John Carl Buechler, he redirected the film. And I love the death scenes a lot, I thought Lara Parlinka is my favorite actor. She's my favorite final girl, Tina. I have been always fan of this poster. And like I said, Kane Hodder is the best, And those assholes who said, who ranked the films and said, oh, Kane Hodder is overrated. Oh, why the fuck is then this movie actually low on the fucking list if it's so overrated? Damn moron. No, it's not. It's criminally underrated and gets pissed and shit on it. This movie is overrated. This movie is well received with part 4, but this is actually well received, this movie. But yet this movie gets pissed on it, gets shit on it. And I love the death scenes. I mean, it reminds me on the Evil Dead, 1981. When Tina uses her telekinetic powers, because this is Carrie vs. Jason, she uses telekinetic powers to defend herself, and she uses the roots around Jason's legs. And if you remember the original The Evil Dead, they actually used, roots when that girl, she actually get caught by the roots and she gets raped. And I love that movie to death. I love the first one, The Evil Dead, the best one, in my opinion. Even though people say Evil Dead 2, the first one is better because it's more scary than the first one. And that movie was NC-17 because it was so gory and a low budget, but directed by Sam Raimi. And if you remember, yeah, she uses roots to capture Jason. Then she uses wires to cause electricity on Jason, electrocute him, to pieces. And it kind of reminds me of The Evil Dead. Or when Tina and Mrs. Shepard are driving to into Crystal Lake, it kind of reminds me of The Evil Dead. Everything how they filmed it reminds me of The Evil Dead. And surprised that movie is actually considered a classic. This isn't. And yeah, and of course, it kind of really reminds me on The Evil Dead. Even the songs are better than Alice Cooper songs, in my opinion. That song, Essence of You by I. It's a creepy song. I loved it. I thought it reminds me of The Evil Dead. It reminds me that this movie is creepy. You have Dream Girl by FM. I enjoy that song better than Alice Cooper. Magic in Your Eyes. I enjoy better than all Alice Cooper songs. The film locations were actually Barn Lake, Alabama, Topanga Canyon Boulevard, Topanga, California with the rest, but actually was, Barnes Lake, Alabama, when they actually blow up the house. They filmed there. Sadly, there's nothing anymore there except pier. There's nothing. Lake and pier are still are the trees that you see that guy who gets an axe in his head by Jason. Those trees are still there, but there's nothing anymore because they blew up a real house, And I love the explosion. I love that it's more practical done. John Carl Buechler worked hard on special effects. The guy who plays Nick, who gets slashed and killed by Jason, helped, for the prosthetic. He helped Kane Hodder in it. And like I said, Kane Hodder, he did all the stunts himself. He did everything himself. He was set on fire for 40 seconds. He got scars. The rooftop falls down on him. Jason jumped through the window. I don't see in part 6 jumping through the window. No, he didn't. He did not jump through the window in part 6. He didn't. Jason jumped like a pure badass through the window, when Tina starts using her magical powers, her telekinetic powers. And you know what? Friday 30 Part 7, The New Blood to me is much better than all 4 Carrie movies. I hate Carrie. I had the first one and the remake on Blu-ray somewhere. They're not my favorite films. It's not my favorite Stephen King film at all. And yeah, I don't like Carrie. I hate her. She, from a shy girl, she becomes a homomaniac. She goes and slashes, kills all innocent kids. How many kids were dead, were killed in school shootings like that? And people are praising the film. Oh, they're praising when school kids are dying. I'm sorry, not in my book. I prefer Tina Shepard because she's a good girl. She's a good guy. She's a heroine. She defeated Jason. I also love the guy, Kevin Blair, who plays Nick. I love the guy. He plays Nick Rogers. He's a badass. He's better actor. He's much better than Jennifer Cook. I love him. I'm not gay, but I love him. And yeah, I found out that Kevin Blair and that guy who plays Ben, they were both gay, but so what? A Nightmare on Street Part 2, the lead guy was gay, but you guys said, oh, it's a classic, oh, it's underrated. That movie gets passed, this movie gets fun of it gets shit on it. People are making fun of the final because Tina uses her telekinetic powers to bring back her dad. Oh, that scene is stupid. I was laughing. But yet you root on this shitty ending finale, on this biggest finale when Megan goes and says Tommy, you rooted. Oh, it was great. But there's when Tina, she defeated Jason. Oh, it sucked. The ending, I was laughable. Why the fuck are you then even watching and reading and writing a shitty comments on it and saying, oh, the finale sucks? Daryl Haney, the guy was fired because his agent came there and demanded larger salary by Mick Mancuso. He get fired, thank God. Oh, then he said, it trashes the film and says, oh, it was stupid that actually Mr. Shepard jumps off and chains the Jason. Oh, it was stupid. Actually, Mr. Shepard's supposed to look like Jason, but because Barbara Sachs clashed and disagreed with John Carl Buechler, she disagreed with him. She also, she even said that she disagreed with in which Jason is unmasked. It's the first time Jason is unmasked. I love how he looked like a real monster, He's a real monster. He kills people like a badass he is. He's a real monster in this film. He's actually a real monster. He's a badass in this film. I love the death scenes. Dr. Cruz, he tries Terry Kaiser from, Weekend at Bernie's. He tries to, he's an asshole. He treated Tina like trash. And I love the death scene of Dr. Cruz, in which I love the music score, by Fred Molina. Actually, he used from previous Friday 13 movies, and he put, in this movie. And also, Harry Manfredini got the credits, even though he didn't write the music score. But I love the music score for Jason, when Jason uses, he goes and he uses, he goes and uses goes and uses tree trimming saw or pole chainsaw or tree trimming saw. That was a real saw, a real tree trimming saw. And Kane Hodder stated it was very difficult that he was holding that tree saw, but that was a real tree trimming saw. It was a real, which he goes and cuts Dr. Cruz. In the scene, it was actually, in the scene, a lot of blood flew in the air and like all the bones, and that scene was cut, which is too bad, it was cut. When Tina draws the roof on one of the houses, porches on Jason, that actually really slammed hard on Jason. I love when Tina uses a lightning bolt, the lamp right in Jason's face and he falls down the stairs. Or Tina uses and destroys his mask. Or by the end, when the house explodes, I love when Jason grabs Tina, throws her like a mad dog, he shows her, like a dog he shows her. And Nick, like a badass, he says, no, Tina, and he grabs the gun, fires at Jason, and Jason knocks his gun down, and with one hand, he knocks him down unconscious. And he is better. Ken Blair was better to me than Jennifer Cook. At least he wasn't like a fucking pussy screaming around, or like, daddy. He wasn't like an asshole, He did not stood there and watch how Tommy was slaughtered. No, he was like a badass. He shoot Jason, he stood against Jason, and he get knocked down. That's a hero in my opinion. And Tina then finally uses, and she calls her dad, he's like a zombie like Jason. He goes and chains him and puts him down in his grave. Oh, so that the scene was stupid. So that scene was laughable. I mean, if you will be a Friday the 13th fan, you actually will have known that for the past 6 years, when the franchise was keep continue being, you will actually find out that Tom McLaughlin directed the part 6. He made Jason unstoppable. It's impossible. It's impossible to stop him. You can go and blow his body to pieces. He's still gonna be alive. You can stab him, burn him. He's a dead zombie, and he's gonna continue walking. You can't stop him. The only reason, because I thought that when Tommy said is to put him back in the original grave where the nightmare started in Crystal Lake. That's the only badass, the only smart and very smart thing to do. And yeah, I love that. So Tina put back Jason because she accidentally released him, And in the opening scene, Crazy Ralph from part 1 and 2, Wild Gorney, rest in peace, he used the narration, and I actually love, how they actually cut part 6, cut Megan out. I would love that if Megan will be cut in part 6. If part 6 will be uncut without Megan, I will definitely say the best one, but no, the bitch is in it, so I can't watch it. It takes me out of the movie completely. I don't know why it's even titled, Camp Forest Green, yet assholes are saying, it's my favorite. This movie is actually in Crystal Lake. It's on the grounds. Beside the first one, it's the only movie that's completely, all the death scenes are actually on the Crystal Lake ground. Larper Lincoln is great. She's the best actress ever in my opinion. She's my favorite Tina. She's great. I love Tina. I love Tina Shepard to death. Larper Lincoln, she was actually Freddy's Nightmares in part 2. I have that episode on the disc, when I bought an Nightmare on Street collection. But yeah, my favorite scene will be the Cruz death scene, because Jason with that chainsaw, he's a badass. He's awesome. I love the guy. I love him so much. He's awesome. That scene. Sadly, John Carl Buechler passed away 2019. Jason jumps through the window was so iconic in this movie. The death scenes, when Sandra, there's a nude girl that she's actually pulled down the water, or the guy gets an axe in the head, or Maddie, she gets she also gets um, she gets um, um, I forgot how when Jason go and cuts her, but now Kane Hodder, like I said, he was set on fire for 40 seconds when Tina causes the furnace to shot flames at Jason. Or I love the scene when she throws nails in Jason, in the mask. I love that, Or when she actually dropped when she goes and drops the roof of one of the house's porches on Jason. It really was slammed. The down the stairs, Jason really fall down. I love when Tina throws potted plant on Jason and you can see the head, We also see the head. Or this guy, David, he gets stabbed in the kitchen knife like Michael Myers. He gets stabbed in the kitchen with knife. Really great scene. There was also the death scene for Robin. They actually filmed in California, in the house where they actually filmed in the house from part 4 in the Tommy's room when it was a stuntman that Jason grabs her and throws her out the window. That was a stuntman falling down. And actually, when she lands on the floor, I don't think that that will be so hard that it would kill her anyway, But yeah, I love Robin. I love Elizabeth Caton as Robin because she loves cats, There's a cat in the house. I love that. No kids in this movie, part 6 has kids yet. It's better if this movie isn't. And like I said, Melissa is the best one in my opinion. I love Melissa to death. I really miss Susan Jennifer Sullivan. I know she, and what I read it, that she actually survived the cancer. But I really miss her. She got an axe in the head, when actually there was that scene when Jason supposed to use the axe and he's supposed to cut Melissa on half. But that scene was once again cut by MPA, who were assholes, and the stunt woman got an axe in the head, and when Jason grabs her and throws her, that Melissa lands in the TV, that was a stunt woman. It wasn't the actress, but still a badass scene. I love Jason with an axe, he's so menacing, he's so scary with an axe in it. He's a real monster. And I just love the Tina accidentally releases the monster. She also sees in the future all the death scenes, or when Nick gets killed and she tries to warn everyone. And I just love that. I love Tina Shepard to death. She's my final girl. Lapa Lincoln was great. She's the best one in my opinion. This movie is great. It's the best one. It's underrated. Get shit on it. Get spit on it. I am so sick and tired hearing how great this movie is. I am tired of these people. This is, sorry, it's not my number one. Especially the finale when when Jennifer Cook saves Tommy, that actually was the biggest link of the fucking shitty film. It was the biggest link. I am tired how she goes into her fucking boots. Oh, I am bad, I'm sexy and hot, so now I'm better than everyone. I'm better than my father, so I'm gonna go and make fun in my boots just to show how hot I am. Fuck you, Jennifer Cook. Fuck you, Jennifer Cook. Fuck you. Fuck you, you stupid slut, you stupid bitch. Because of you, because you did not choose your dad's side. You did not defend him. You wanted to choose Tommy, a stranger barely know. You went and kisses and the guy gets a girl. Fuck that. Fuck that. I would rather watch this movie. This is better. This movie is better. Fuck MPA. They fucking butchered the film. And John Carl Buechler got nothing but piece of shit from all of you fans. From all of you fanboys. He got nothing. And you know what? I'm probably the only one that's defending this film, because no one will. I am defending this film. This is criminally underrated sequel with Rambo 3, RoboCop 2, Predator 2, the most underrated sequel, unappreciated sequel ever. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is underrated. You know what? Part 2 is not underrated. It's overrated. Part 4 is underrated. Part 7, Friday the 13th is underrated. And also, John Carl Buechler sees the connection between Alice Johnson from Part 4 and Tina because they both use his powers to fight against the monster. Because Freddy in Part 4 is a real monster. And still, the first is the best, but yeah, he's a real monster in both the films. I actually prefer the actress Susan Blue, who plays Amanda Shepard, mom of Tina, much better than the actress who played Carrie White's mom, a psychopath, sociopath mother. She was better. Susan Blue was better than the bitch. I forgot who played in Carrie the first one. The mother is basic. Oh, fuck her. She sucked anyway. Yeah, the first Carrie I do like part of the film, but not all. Especially how they pushed Carrie way too far. I prefer Tina because she's a good guy. She's a good human being. I love Tina. I love heroine. She defeated Jason herself. She didn't need help. She didn't need rescue from Nick. She defeated herself. She couldn't. She wasn't strong enough, to put Jason. So a zombie versus zombie can't do that. So that's why she called Jason. That's what she called her dad. She accidentally awoken Jason because she thought her dad is down there. It was accidentally. I actually rooted for Tina a lot more. She's beautiful. She's cute. She's much better. She's smarter than fucking Tommy. He sucked. She's better. Laura Lincoln is better than Tom Matthews in my opinion. I'd rather watch Tina. She's not even Friday the 13th video game. She's not in the fucking video game. She deserves to be there. The songs I love more. The Jason the death scenes I do love more. Melissa I love to death. Better than Jennifer Cook. Susan Jennifer Sullivan was better than Jennifer Cook. She was better. I tried to find the actress. I found the wrong Susan Sullivan. It wasn't the actress I was looking for. So no one knows where she is or what's going on. She's divorced, so no one knows, where she is. But thank God that the real actress who played Melissa is still alive. But she, just like David Bradley, they both disappeared off the grid. No one knows where they are. But I think they're still alive. I love the guy who plays Eddie, Jeff Bennett, oh, Star Mommy. The guy was funny and ridiculous. I love the guy. Kevin Blair and Laura Lincoln did not get along, and he wrote a script in which this was just a nightmare, and he actually murders Tina because they did not get along. But later on the convention in the mid-2000s, they actually went and meet each other, and that time they got along, and now they actually became good friends. Even associate producer Barbara Sachs screwed over John Carl Buechler. Because actually Mr. Shepard should be more a zombie, but no, she was against the idea. Even she was against the idea that Jason is unmasked. So Jason in this movie, actually Nick Mancuso loved that he was unmasked. I love that too. He's a real monster, great special effects. John Carl Buechler did the special effects for Jason, and he's more. He actually in this movie, he's actually more a monster. Or the scene when Tina uses that rope and tries to hang Jason. My favorite scene will actually be when Tina goes when actually when Tina spills Jason with gasoline and uses the furnace fire and ignites him him to set him on fire. That's my favorite scene. The explosion of the house, my favorite scene, because it's so real. I love the explosion. Was practical done, no CGI, no shaky cam, no CGI, crappy CGI. They all did for real. You know, the chainsaw, the trim chainsaw when Jason was attacking Dr. Cruz was a real chainsaw, and Kane Hodder admitted it was really difficult to hold that instrument in his hand, that tool in the hand, you know, because it was really heavy to hold that in it. So I do believe that. You know, Barbara Sachs was against many of the ideas, you know, like Jason being unmasked and Tina's father coming out of the water. She was against the idea, was to be more elaborate and feature full prosthetics and a life-size dummy. She was against it, you know. John Carl Buechler did anyway, unmasked Jason. I love that he's a real monster. This movie made $19 million. Budget cost $800,000. I think that it wasn't a low budget. Just like the first one, it was a low budget, but still they came out with a good movie in my opinion. There was a scene on the end, you know, when there was actually a fisherman on the lake and Jason shows up, you know, and grabs the guy, pulls him down. They actually filmed that scene so that that people know that Jason is still down there, but they actually, you know, the MPA and the producer, associate producer, Barbara Sachs, was against it, you know, and I'm actually happy that it was, because I like that scene. I like that. That's actually happy that we see, you know, Tina and Nick in the ambulance, and when Nick asks where is he, oh don't worry, it was taking care of him, and I like that. I love the finale. I love the music score by for Tina. Tina's music score is my favorite of the whole bunch of the Friday 13 films. You know, my favorite scene for Jason will be the one that furnace, you know, 40 seconds that causes the furnace, you know, when Tina sets on fire. Jason, you know, just like Lance Henriksen, when his coat was on fire, right there in the middle, hard target. You know, Kane Hodder was set on fire for 40 seconds. He did all the stunts. CJ Graham could not do that, you know. And yeah, I love the song I, Dream Girl, Essence of You. There was a scene when Judy was actually bashed, in the 3-6 times, and not once, you know, starting, that was actually, you know, that really was heavy, because Kane Hodder really disliked the scene, because it was heavy, it was a dummy in it, and it wasn't a real girl, you know. But there's, when he bashes Judy around the tree, you know, in the movie, there's one scene, but actually he did that 6 times, and he was really frustrated and very, he was very sweaty and frustrated. He sweated in his costume of Jason, and he was really tired, you know. So yeah. There was also Blade, you know, Amanda Shepard. Maddie, she got sickle in her neck. There was a long blade in which, you know, Dr. Cruz helps Jason to kill Mrs. Shepard. Actually, there was another cut scene in which Amanda Shepard's back was slashed, but that scene was also cut. That scene was also cut. Yeah, but I think that mostly that I did say it. But yeah, I love Jason to death. I mean, I love this movie to death. Friday the Part 7, The New Blood, is very underrated. It's criminally underrated. I don't understand why is this movie so great, you know. And people are still saying, yeah, people were still saying that they thought it was ballsy that Tommy survived against Jason calling him pussy. That was a good scene. But I would prefer if Megan would die, or if she wouldn't save Tommy and Tommy would have saved himself. That would be badass. In Shocker, Jonathan Parker didn't need help. You know, he defeated the guy, you know, Horace Finger himself. So why did Tommy needed help? Why? That really was, in my opinion, the weakest link in the movie. The weakest link. In Part 7, Tina defeats Jason herself. She uses her powers, and just love that. Yeah. I do love the music theme for Tina. I do love that it's creepy. I love the death scenes. It looks like it reminds me of The Evil Dead. And The Evil Dead 1981 is one of my favorite horror films with John Carpenter's thing. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, and Friday the 13th Part 2, which I do love that. I prefer, you know what? Friday the 13th Part 2 is better than Jason Lives. The final chapter, Corey Feldman is much better Tommy than this guy Tom Matthews ever will be. You know what? Even John Shepard is to me better than Tom Matthews. He's better. And Part 5 also gets shit on it. But to me, this one is the most underrated, not Part 5. Part 5 still gets some fans. And I know that this movie still gets some fans. But when I watch those popular videos ranking them, oh, this is number 7. This is the low the list. Why isn't the low the list? Why? You know, that's what pisses me off, you know. And, you know, they actually, fans by Jason Lives, when I compare these two movies, you know, I compare these two movies, sorry, I can't see, but I compare, you know, these two movies, I say this is better. This one is better. This movie is better than Part 6. It has better action. It has better explosion. Part 6 doesn't have an explosion. The van actually trips over but doesn't explode. Oh, it's set on fire, doesn't explode. Doesn't count to me. It has better action. It's set in Crystal Lake, not Forest Green. And I'm glad that, you know, the movie is set 10 years later. Jennifer Banco, she plays young Tina. She accidentally kills her dad. So that was awesome scene. And Jennifer Banco is so beautiful now. Wow, I saw her on last night on Memory from Crystal Lake. She was so beautiful. Pilar Parlicon was the best. Watching her in Freddy's Nightmares, episode 2 in season 1. She was there. She was great. Tina Shepard is my favorite character, and Kevin Blair is one of my favorite males who survived. You know, he was one of the few of Part 6 guys that survived. You know, no one knows what happened to Paul, but he, you know, beside young Tommy, he was the only one of the male that actually survived. By the way, no, I'm not counting Part 6. Fuck Part 6. You know, yeah, I do love some part of the film. Some of the death scenes in the CJ Graham, but I prefer Kane Hodder. And this is the best movie that he was in it. He's the best one. Sadly, the last 3 movies weren't so great, but this is the greatest one. And John Carl Buechler does not deserve that much hate. This movie does not deserve the hate. This movie, you know, did not do well on the box office, or did not become a cult classic like Part 6. But it doesn't deserve that Friday the 13th fans are putting this movie down. It does not deserve that people say, oh, I prefer the Jason that you call cut him, but not the zombie. You know, oh, I prefer, this is number 7 to me. Oh, but number 6, Jason is number 1 to me. Why? Why is number 6 better than this movie? I will never understand that, you know. I will never understand that. You know, I do love, you know, when Jason takes the mask off and he uses his mouth and he's pissed off. He uses the cable, cut the cable, and he's pissed off on Tina. I love that scene. I love the scene. I love when Jason has a long blade, and goes and cuts Amanda Shepard. I love that scene. I love when Tina uses the roots, like in the Evil Dead, catches Jason. Then she uses electric wires to in the pool, in the dirt mat of the pool, the water. When Jason stands there, he gets hit by electricity and he falls down. I love that scene. Or when she throws the rooftop on Kane Hodder, which that was for real, it really landed with him. He was badly hurt. Or when she uses when Tina actually uses when Tina when Tina actually uses the furnace to shot flames at Jason. I love that. The explosion, my favorite, I don't know, there's so many favorite scenes. I love the explosion in the house, which was practical done, was for real. The explosion of the house wasn't meant to be this big. It was originally rigged to go off in stages, but something went wrong, and the massive explosion destroyed everything. Most of the film was burned. Thank God no one was hurt, but that was done for real. Fantastic explosion. Only 20 frames they found it, but fantastic explosion. None of the Friday the 13th movies has that kind of explosion. None of them. They don't have explosion. I love explosions. I love action. I mean, this movie, Demolition Man, they blow up a real building. Broken Arrow, real explosions were done. Real explosions. Or Hard Target, they blew up a real house. They don't make movies nowadays anymore. And yes, I love the explosion. The house explosion. The explosion. Why do people ignore that? Kane Hodder was a badass. He jumped through the window. He's a badass. Or when Tina uses and she throws potted plant on Jason with the hat in it. I love that scene. She goes and turns him on a fire. He was burned 40 seconds. I mentioned 3 times. I'm going to continue. Ken Hodder did all the stunts himself. He didn't need a stuntman. He wanted to do it himself. He's a badass. He's a great as Jason, the best Jason ever. He's great with the mask. The mask is destroyed to pieces in this movie. I love that. Electrocution. John Carl Buechler is dead. He's no longer with us anymore. He can't defend himself, and I'm sorry this is an hour long, but you know what? It deserves it. It deserves that someone defends this film. It deserves that somebody defends this film. And yeah, he deserves it. And I think it's underrated film. It's underrated sequel. And this is an hour, but actually deserves that someone defends him. I love that Jason is a monster this movie. I mentioned it a few times and I can continue. I love that Tina is a good girl, better than Carrie. She's better than Carrie. She's a good girl. She's a good girl, Tina. I love that. I love Amanda Shepard, her mom. I don't like Dr. Cruz that much when she said bad news, but I love Melissa to death. I really would like to know what happened to the actress Susan Jennifer Sullivan, how she has, where is she, what happened to her. She wasn't in that documentary. They thought that she passed away. They tried to track her down. I love Susan Jennifer Sullivan miles better than Jennifer Cook. Jennifer Cook sucks. Yeah, she was in that documentary, but no Melissa in this movie. And you know what? Melissa maybe was a bitch, but she was she was beautiful. She was sweet. She was beautiful. And how she loved Nick when Nick said, "Melissa, I don't even like you." But I love her when she tried to use Eddie, and Eddie was like pissed off. I was rejected, and he goes, in that room, and he opens, those gifts, and says, "You large son of a bitch." And Melissa, he goes, says, "Cunt," and throws everything. I just love the guy. I love Jeb Bennett as Eddie. Yeah, I love him. He was great when he was actually killed by Jason. I love that. I felt bad for him when he was slashed and killed. Or that guy David, who smokes pot, he gets stabbed by a kitchen knife, just like Michael Myers. He gets stabbed. Love that scene. The death scenes I love, even though they're uncut, even though they're cut. The first movie is uncut. Fuck that movie. This is better. But yeah, this is the most uncut movie ever. That's my movie review on Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Me defending the film, the most underrated sequel with Rambo 3. That movie gets also bad reputation with Predator 2 and RoboCop 2. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood is the most underrated sequel ever and one of my favorite. That will be always my favorite. You know what? Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. Not the director. Fuck Tom Matthews. Fuck Jennifer Cook. I hope they have great babies. I hope they fuck each other every day because they both suck. I hate them both. That's what I think about a shitty couple ever. Anyway, that's my review. Thanks for watching. I know it's an hour, but you know what? John Carl Buechler deserves the 7 defense him, so I did that. Anyway, I'm out. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace.